Welcome to the Experience Strategy Podcast with Joe Pine, author of The Experience Economy and lots of other great books, Dave Norton, an experienced futurist and founder of Stone Mantle, and me, Aranza Savas, an expert in coaching, motivation, and behavior change. Each week, we bring you a trending story from the news and share our hot takes. This week, we're talking about an article from the Wall Street Journal. Title is AMC Post Narrower Loss as Sales Surge. Revenue in second quarter climbed to $1.4 billion, topping Wall Street's forecast of $1.34 billion. This article is by Connor Hart. And Joe, you proposed this one. So what were you most excited by or interested in on this one?
Well, obviously it's the narrowing of the loss. That's big news. But one of the things I found interesting.
Low bars around here.
That's right. If I just thinking back to the pandemic, right, or the Corona crisis, as I like to call it, when things finally opened up, like Disney World opened up at 25% capacity. Guess what? 25% capacity was hit immediately, right? And it went up, everything that opened up was immediately hit to capacity because we so miss these experiences that we couldn't have, right? And fundamentally, that's what happened, is that it killed the experience sector of the economy more so than any others. You still get goods and services and so forth. And of course, there's one exception, and that was movies. Movie theaters did not fill to capacity. Movie theaters were still far apart. Partly it's, by that time, at least the people who read widely understood that your chances of getting it outside are basically nil, right? Unless somebody just, sneezes or coughs
right in your face.
Exactly. Other than that, it's nil.
Blow COVID in your nose.
Right. I sneeze my COVID in your general direction. So partly it was because it was inside, right? And you're within 4 feet of other people. But I remember, like, the first movie we went back to, they were self-limiting because they put spaces between, or, you couldn't be that close. You're at least further than the proverbial 6 feet, which didn't have any basis in science either, during that time. But even today, it still has not come back. And the primary reason is lack of great movies. They partly it's the shift to streaming, or the streamers, create movies and don't put it out there. Partly it's the reticence of them to spend a lot of money marketing, some big movie and not have people show up. But I think the first, if I remember correctly, the first movie that said, "Hey, you create something great, we'll come," was Maverick. Right, with Tom Cruise, and it was a great movie, and people did show up. And then you had Barbieheimer, and you had all these other things, and we're the point that, hey, it really is the content and lack of great content that keep people from coming back. So it did, as you see, with AMC really accelerated what most every movie theater chain was doing before COVID, which is what you might call the premiumization of it, that they kept adding things that would make it more of a premium experience. The chief executive of AMC, Adam Aron, quoted here at the end of the article, says, "Even before the industry box off roared back to life in the second quarter," well, again, that's a little overstatement, "we recognize that state-of-the-art..."
back.
Right. "We recognize that state-of-the-art laser projection, more comfortable seating, expanded food and beverage offerings, and a growing focus on premium large format and extra large format experiences make visits to our theaters even better." So yeah, if you improve the offering, if you make the experience better, then you're going to get more experiences, and the more value you provide, the more you're able to charge for it as well. I mean, it's just like, I don't know, it's like economics 101. So I don't understand what took so long.
Yeah, I mean, I will challenge the great content problem. I think there's a lot of great content being released in streaming, and it is a matter of how we're choosing to release and how we're monetizing the attention of these viewers. So we found that they will watch even more if we lock them onto their home screens And we've really incentivized the membership model for that and disincentivized leaving your house and going and having an experience. So I think the real delta and the real problem is the other one that you touch on here, which is there wasn't a great experience to go sit in an icky, sticky, dirty room in the dark with probably some super uncomfortable seats with the spring poking you in the butt for 2 hours instead of your cushy couch.
Lance, you haven't been to movie theaters since the 1980s, it sounds like.
I mean, really, a lot of them were pretty crappy. And they have gotten better. Yes, but I think they still can bring directly from your playbook, they can bring more theater to that experience and make it something that isn't easily replicated at home. Yes, I might miss my favorite blanket on my favorite spot in the couch by going to the theater, but what are the rewards for spending the extra money to get out and have that wonderful experience?
Well, I don't. The only thing I would miss is the absolutely wonderful popcorn that my wife makes, but we sneak it into the theater, so no problem there. But
nice. So you're not contributing to that,
I remember one time when they had one of those issues with shooting in a theater. We had policemen at a local theater. And they went to look at every bag, and my wife goes up sheepishly, and she has the most wonderful sheepish look in the world. Gets her through a lot of things, and and unzips the bag. He looks at the 2 bags of popcorn in there, closes it, gives it back to her. I wasn't dissing the content of streaming, although it's not nearly as good as most. So now I will diss the content of streaming a little bit. It's not as good. I was dissing the content in the movie theaters, that they didn't have the best bred movies.
Well, I mean, I think it's all from the same pool, right? And then they're just deciding which distribution channels to use. But yeah, I think when you're saying great content, what I'm hearing underneath that is highly theatrical content that is better on a bigger screen. It's really about screen size and immersion.
Yeah, it's not solely. It's not. We generally don't go to the biggest screen sizes, so it's not solely that. But yes, there. Some of the things like Mission Impossible on an IMAX, I'm sure is absolutely wonderful.
Well, yeah, I'm just talking about the immersion.
Tom Cruise movies, but even the more quieter films, even the one A Quiet Place, for example, if that's the right term for those horror movies. But even they have always been better seen in a movie theater because you're with other people, because when you laugh, others laugh, and that makes you laugh more, and cry more, and all of that. It's amplified in there when you're in a big crowd, and it's really what movie theaters so good is actually that communal experience, Dave.
Well, so speaking of community, did either one of you go to see a Minecraft movie?
No.
So I didn't either, but it did $1.9 billion in global revenue. It was only in the theaters, and evidently is the most memed about. It's being called the Rocky Horror Picture Show of the Gen Z generation, because people who would show up and have their costumes on, do all of the fun things. There's a part in it where Jack Black, I guess, goes chicken jockey, and everybody goes crazy about it. So that show in and of itself, at least for the US audiences and globally, was very, very successful. There was another movie that did even better, but it to me, I didn't hear about it nearly so much, and that was the what was it called? Neja 2 or Neja 2. So it's got a kind of an Asian kind of show that did almost $2 billion in sales.
Hey friends, I am so excited to share that Feedback Now and Stone Mantle are giving away a free pilot program to bring your real-time data idea to life. We get it. We know there's a lot of clutter in experience data and how hard it can be to pinpoint the real issues. That's why we're excited to introduce you to Feedback Now, the world's best company for real-time feedback. They process over 130 million customer opinions every year in over 50,000 unique locations around the world. Companies who use Feedback Now see an average increase in satisfaction of 15% in just 6 weeks. They are the real-time choice for sentiment data collection for some of the world's best airports, retailers, and hospital systems. Why? Because they don't just capture immediate customer sentiment. They help you see the patterns in your data. No amount of AI can compensate for not having real customers giving you real-time insights into your experience. That's what Feedback Now with a little assistance from Stone Mantle does. Want us to help you with your real-time data idea? Just go to their website, which we've listed in the show notes, share your idea for a project, and we'll reach right back out to you.
Wait, I never even heard of it.
I know.
Follow movies.
So, but only and you would have to know everything about these mystical creatures and so forth.
You're gonna have to spell that for me because I don't even know where we're going.
Yeah, exactly. Not that.
NE space ZHA 2, number 2. It's a mythological saga about two characters that share the same.
That's probably
body.
a worldwide number then, at 2 billion for that. Yeah.
Well, it's
That said, it was released in February and it's still playing in Sheepshead Bay.
yeah. So it's doing fantastically well, and so Mission Impossible, which also came out, was actually third
I think
or
those
fourth.
are Chinese numbers that you're seeing.
Yeah.
I think Mission Impossible was actually third or fourth, which I went to see because it, to your point, needed to be seen in a theater, and so. I do think that there were some really powerful things that were happening at that time.
So I want to talk about what you just said about the Minecraft movie, because it goes back to something Joe said that I was really excited to talk about, which is that he said he was talking about this communal experience. Now, most of the time when I have been to a movie theater in the last decade, there have been 2 other people in the theater with me, maybe 3. On a wild day. It is not a communal experience. It is me in a bigger room with my husband and children. So not feeling the great communal benefit that you're talking about in those experiences. However, when you talked about Minecraft as a Rocky Horror, it made me start to answer a question I had in my own mind after listening to Joe, which is, what should these theaters be doing? What should these movie makers be doing to drive people into a shared experience and therefore a shareable experience so that it's reaching more people via social platforms? And I think what you're saying there about the Jack Black moment is probably the big secret to how that gets unlocked in today's.
Yeah. I just saw this morning on the entertainment news that I think it's Netflix is bringing a animated K-pop movie that's done famously well.
Oh, it's been huge. It's all my children watch. K-pop Demon Hunter. Yeah. Their friends come over, they watch the whole series.
2 nights only, and sing-along version.
Oh my gosh.
And people sing along with it. Now there's your communal experience.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
No, that's exactly right.
We paid a premium last year to go to a sold out movie theater event featuring a very small, a relatively small singer, originally from a Scandinavian country whose name I still can't say correctly because my kids correct me every time, but her name is, I think, pronounced Lorve. And the theater was packed, but then afterwards we hung out in the lobby for an hour because my kids made friends with other people in their fandom that they're still in touch with. So thinking of these as ways to bring fandoms together, but also to take these viral moments and then share them with other humans IRL. That is what everything we were talking about last week about why experiences are going to thrive in a world of AI produced content. It's because of that. It's because of these
Yeah,
shared
yeah,
experiences.
and I noticed that the director for the Minecraft movie was Jared Hess, whose first show was Napoleon Dynamite.
I
And,
loved that movie.
and it's
Uh,
like talk
Take
about
one look at your Francis. You know you would love that movie.
talk
I just
about
like look like a character from
You
Napoleon
do, you
oh,
do.
Dynamite.
It's a-
Thanks.
it
That's
was
where I get my style
it
inspo.
was again the Rotten Tomatoes review was like 47%, which I don't even think Napoleon Dynamite did that well when it comes to the critics, but when it comes to being viral and memeable and quotable and all of that, I think they picked the right director because he he has a way of really helping the actors do just exactly that, and it was very successful for him. So great,
Yeah, and I mean,
great pick.
actors, sure, but what this is really about is their social media teams who are getting the
Sure.
right snippets out onto TikTok and getting them in front of enough eyeballs to create virality and shareability.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to me that we get to use that word shareability in such different and complementary ways here. And it's probably something all experienced strategists in all industries should be thinking about, how to create moments of bringing humans together for shareable human experiences that are also massively shareable in social channels via viral moments.
so to uplift the conversation, elevate the conversation to what all experienced strategists need to think about is it's the entire offering. It's how you bring everything together. It's the stage set, which is what they're talking about here at the AMC theaters. Is that we're greatly improving the stage set. We're going to make it a much nicer place to go. You'll love coming here, and but recognize that then the core experience that plays out on that stage has to be great as well, and you have to see it, and you have to, and then what you're talking about with if you can make it a communal experience, if you make it shareable, as you say, that you can. One of my principles is mix in the media that people want to do and encourage that and provide places for it. Then you're going to extend that experience, and the chances that people come back are going to be greater. The chances other people are going to learn about it and say, "Hey, that looks like a great experience. I want to experience that for myself." All of that is going to go way up.
Yeah.
What I think is interesting too is that it doesn't rely on premium content necessarily. So, my new hometown here is also the hometown of the filmmaker Kevin Smith. He grew up, of
Clerks.
course, in filmmaking and is a great lover of film. And so, beautifully, poetically, when he returned home after living in California, he bought our town movie theater. And he runs some first run films, but mostly what he's running is shareable experiences. And those sell out before we can even get tickets most of the time. So
Oh, that's
you
cool.
think about running the Barbie movie again now, now that we have a little bit of nostalgia for it, even just a year later. And
Already.
yeah, well, or doing it as a quote along for the Great America Ferrera monologue, right? Or
Yeah.
doing sing-alongs for movies where that sort of interaction is largely discouraged in the experience, right? Old farty people have for the longest time I was directing that at you. No. Have for a very long time directed the entire movie going experience by saying shh shh shh. If you want shh, watch it at home.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
Oh, we
Right?
talk we
Like
talk far more at home than we do in the movie theaters.
right. But
So we
shouldn't
talk
it
in the movie
be
theaters.
that, okay, yeah, sure, maybe there's some times in movie theaters, but really the shared experience, what we should be saying is be loud together, don't have a freaking side conversation and talk on the phone. We'll hate you, but have a conversation with other people by singing your heart out, by cheering and crying and laughing out loud. That's what they should be talking about.
Yeah.
Not shh.
Yeah, no,
which is
I
just
agree with
rude.
you. It's funny, I did go see Mission Impossible in the theater, and
Now I want to
Tina
watch it.
and Tina actually reserved the tickets, and she got the new cocoon based seating where it's like a little enclosed box, and then you sit all the way back,
She would.
just for
You,
just for
you
each
newlyweds,
couple.
of course she would do that.
Yeah, for each couple, and
Newlyweds.
it was super cool. Like it was the exact opposite, but what I was surprised at is the number of people who brought blankets, who brought
Mm.
pillows, who brought, like, they were like camping out for this movie.
Fascinating.
Did they bring their CPAP machines?
Huh?
Did they bring their CPAP machines?
No, no, no. But the seats had massage capabilities in them, and they
Okay.
had heat and all kinds
So the
of crazy
tagline for
stuff.
Play
that one is
magic fingers.
home, but better.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All at home with a really big screen. So there's kind of like two totally
Yeah.
different experiences going on.
Modes.
And there's
Yeah.
people that were sitting in the regular seats that were in the
It's a
back.
great
Yeah,
explanation of modes, right?
I
Yeah,
don't need more
yeah,
information on that,
yeah.
Dave.
I like
Yeah.
that.
Designing for modes. All right, guys, this is exciting. And I'm excited to see what this industry does, but also what some of these insights might mean for other categories. As always, when we're talking about a really specific category, we are looking at this through the lens of all categories. We, Dave, Joe, and I have the great privilege of getting to work with folks across many different categories and see what's working across categories. And so we hope that whatever role you were in and whatever company you are working in or whatever company you want to work in, you're capturing some ideas for how to make that experience a higher time value and more meaningful. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you next week.